Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon, and we're looking at how to win in World of Warplanes in patch 0.5.3. One of the things that was introduced in this patch, either by intention or not, was an incredibly strong auto-aim system. That means the plane would fix your aim for you a little bit when you were off, and the net effect of this is that damage has skyrocketed among all the planes and all the tiers. So the start of the strategy is to pitch straight up and climb as high as you can. Now there are only a couple of planes that are able to do this, the fast fighters in the US line and both lines of heavies in the German and the UK. The next part of the strategy is really not to engage first. Since everyone basically has a hard time missing each other, the planes on both teams are just going to destroy each other relatively quickly. You want the numbers to thin themselves out before you engage. Here I'm looking around and I'm not noticing anyone at my altitude, so I do feel a little bit safe, and I'm looking towards my teammates and seeing if there are enemies that are relatively accessible. When I dive, I'm diving almost straight down. This helps with gunnery because of the way the angles are. He really can't change the angles on me too terribly much. And flying straight down reduces the chance of a head-on engagement. Since the auto-aim makes it so it's hard to miss, that means I would be taking a lot of damage unnecessarily. Notice how the second he starts pulling towards me, I speed away. And notice also how my team is failing me. This is the time where this strategy becomes incredibly important when your team is going down. Defensively, I notice there's someone behind me, and so I try to pull up into the sky. Notice the text chat. When I use mouse look to look behind me, it's a bug that enables the chat box, so I keep spamming W's, the boost, to my team. It's important to look behind you and notice what type of plane is trying to chase you. The Russian line aren't great climbers, and the P-51A is an excellent climber. So he tried to follow me into the vertical, quickly stalled out. I noticed it because I was looking behind me, quickly turned around and finished him off. Easy peasy. So our team was down by 4 or 5 planes just 30 seconds ago, and the score is relatively even now. However, they do have some higher tier planes on us. I'm diving from a very steep angle again. I'm going to catch an ME-410, and I'm going to be able to eliminate him in one pass. Now, I'm seen by a Mosquito. The Mosquito is a good climber. Notice that he's able to deal a ton of damage to me. I almost die here, but I'm just saved by virtue of him having a lot less energy than I did. Sometimes you don't even have to look at your opponent to know that he's stalled. I briefly glanced back quick as I was approaching stall speed. If he wouldn't have stalled, I would have continued to stay level. He would have stalled at some point. If he didn't stall, then I would have been dead by this time. I pick a very steep angle to avoid the head-on. He's able to get a couple shots, but nothing that would have constituted a real threat. I speed away from him. Notice that I am out of gun range. I'm well over 1k meters away from him. You can view on the mini-map the circle around you. That's 1,000 meters away from you. That's a pretty easy judge of distance. And now I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He's springing around for a head-on pass. He hasn't quite figured out yet that he cannot follow me into the vertical directly. He needs to break off and gain some speed. Maybe he's doing it as a preemptive defensive maneuver, knowing that I really don't like the head-ons. The numbers of people on both sides have been evened out, so I need to win this one-on-one and possibly one more. He's been able to close the distance on me somewhat. However, he's still not in legitimate striking distance to me. He stalls out here again, and this is when I'm just in too good of a position to miss, and we're just going to auto-aim the hell out of him. Gotta love those magical plane-seeking bullets.
That's 3 down.
Okay, and last up we have another energy fighter such as myself. It's the BF-109F. My teammate looks pretty timid. He's just hanging over our towers for some odd reason. I'm going to spot the 109 below me and be able to dive on him relatively quickly. Taking a quick peek down, I notice that I'm not quite out of distance yet. So I spam him or a couple W's after the stupid chat bug, and I'm trying to gain a little bit more altitude because I'm too low of hit points, and it turns out that he wanted to commit suicide with my teammate. Totally cool. I hope you succeed in the auto-aim environment. Happy hunting.